What is up, everyone? I hope you're all having a great evening. Hope everyone is doing their best, making their dreams come true, fighting for what they really want to be doing, where they want to be in life, because at the end of the day, we all are exactly where we deserve to be, whether we would like it or not. You know, a great man once said that the world is a more deserving place than perhaps we would like to admit to ourselves, and I believe that's true. You know, sometimes life sucks, sometimes it's great, but what really determines our future is the way that we get through the suck. You know, it's how we handle the suck and how we make the most out of it and how we make the most out of life. And it's really all about, you know, taking the best of everything that we can and doing what we can with that. So today's talk is going to probably break some hearts, especially for those of my friends out there who are entrepreneurs. You know, for those of you out there who are doing business, or maybe you're in sales, or maybe you're thinking about getting started in sales, I think this is a video that, you know, I know I've heard a couple people mention something similar, but I think that very few people will admit to what I'm about to say. You know, especially those of you who call yourselves entrepreneurs. A lot of people won't like to hear this because I think the term entrepreneur these days is a little bit washed out, you know, to be honest. Everyone wants to call themselves an entrepreneur. If you've tried anything in business, you know, by definition, an entrepreneur is a risk taker. So whether you've been successful, whether you've, you know, succeeded, or if you failed or whatnot, that's not really so important. But yeah, by definition, there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there. And those of you who have been successful, you know, maybe you have a little more entitlement, but I don't really like necessarily calling myself an entrepreneur just because I feel like the term is washed out. You know, salesman, you know, businessman, I prefer that personally. But for those of you out there who do call yourselves entrepreneurs, for those of you who call yourself salesmen, businessmen, whatever it is, you know, and you know who you are, or maybe, again, you're thinking about getting started, this message is for you. And the truth about being an entrepreneur is that most of the time, it sucks. You know, and I just wrote an article about this, so you can check it out more if you follow me on LinkedIn. If you're following me on Facebook, you'll see the post as we're headed into the new year. That post will be coming out, so you can read more about it. But the truth is, being an entrepreneur sucks most of the time. And if you think about it, you know, that's really no surprise. Most people out there will tell you, statistically speaking, it's on the 8th, 9th, 10th call, following up. You have to be following up with prospects constantly that you're going to get any kind of reaction. So assuming that you're following up with all of your prospects, statistically speaking, we're getting rejected 9 times out of 10. You know, it's often said, if you're lucky, there's the, you know, the Coke in Japan metaphor or principle, and if you can sell Coke to 1% of Japan, then you'll be successful. Or if you can sell your product to 1%, you know, 1% is kind of that magic number. If you can sell your product to 1% of any niche, any market, then you're going to be successful. And if you think about that, you know, 1% is almost like that godlike figure. You know, maybe I'll hit 1% of my market. Well, that means 99% of your market is going to reject you. 99% of the people out there aren't going to want anything to do with your product. They're not going to want to buy whatever it is you're selling. They're not going to want to talk to you. They're going to slam the door in your face. No one's going to want it. People are just going to reject you. And I mean, again, it sucks, especially if you're not used to it. So that's just the statistics. That's not even counting the emotion. That's not, you know, if you're good, maybe you'll have a better number. Maybe you get 3 out of 10 prospects. I know Jim Rohn, he said when he first started in business, he was getting 1 out of 10. Spoke to 10 prospects, he got a no. You know, 9 times out of 10, he got a no. And then after 10 prospects, it was 1 no. 20 prospects, he got, you know, 1 yes. After 30 prospects, he had gotten 1 more person. After 40 prospects, he got 1 more person to join his business. And after 50, 60, 70, maybe he was getting 2 out of 10. And then eventually, maybe it was 3 out of 10. So a lot of people are going to learn the hard way that business is not easy. Network marketing, it's a great place to start. It's something, you know, there's so many great companies out there, so many bad ones as well. But network marketing is a great place to start for anyone who is wanting to do business, because it allows you to fail, and you can fail again and again and again. And then when you succeed, you'll see the reward. It's scalable. It's an awesome place to start. But, you know, if you're not doing network marketing, maybe you have a business idea, maybe you have a product that you want to sell. Maybe you're considering investing some money in that product. You better be ready to lose a lot of money before you make even a dime. I've recently started working with a restaurant, a food delivery company that we're starting up, and it's really interesting because I personally know nothing about Indian food, which is the market that this revolves around. However, the company is growing because my partner does. So that's really cool. But again, a lot of people, you know, we have many prospects, they book an order, say, for food, and then they just bail on us. They don't even give us heads up. They don't. So you're going to get a lot of that too. You'll get a lot of prospects who maybe you're talking to them, and again, it sucks. There's a lot of suck in any business. So if you're not prepared to tough out the suck, if you're not prepared to learn and to grow, I just made a video about my #1 tip. And if you missed it, my #1 tip is that you got to stop looking for #1 tips, because everyone has a different #1 tip. Everyone has their top 10 ways of doing this, their top 10 ways of doing that, and there are just so many ways to do everything. You know, to be successful, you have to be eclectic. One of my favorite entrepreneurs, Tai Lopez, he has his Book of the Day Club, which is phenomenal. You can check it out at tailopez.com. But if you talk to almost any entrepreneur, any successful entrepreneur, they'll tell you that they read at least pretty much a book a day. The average CEO is reading 50 to 60 books a year, so you're looking at least a book a week. All right, if you're not reading at least a book a week, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you're reading an entire 300-page book and taking notes and whatnot, but if you're like me, maybe sometimes you'll watch some seminars, sometimes you're reading books, sometimes you're, you know, the important thing is that you're always learning. Not every book you're going to learn something from. Not every book you're going to agree with. Not every seminar you're going to be impressed with. But the important thing is that you're constantly and consistently learning and growing your mind, and you're constantly and always shaping and changing your values. A great man once said that the way that you'll reach success is not by focusing on the path, but by focusing on the goal. And I think that's true, because the path is always changing. I've had many, many, many failures before I started hitting any strides of success. Before I hit any levels of success, it was one failure, another failure, and then eventually I just learned so many times. It's kind of like Thomas Edison. You know, he learned when he failed 999 times and they succeeded on the 1,000th try, supposedly, and they said, you know, you failed 999 times. He said, no, I didn't. I learned 999 ways not to make a light bulb. And that's very much what business is about. You have to learn how not to do everything, and eventually you'll learn how to do the things right. Eventually it becomes secondhand nature. But again, you have to make through the suck. If you're just going to be one of those people that, you know, you start a network marketing company, or you start a business, or you have an idea and you give it half-ass, or you start it and you start failing, and then you're not really sure what to do, and you want to call yourself an entrepreneur, be my guest. But that's not going to change your level of success. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to affect your level of success is you. The only thing that's going to affect your level of success is whether or not you're growing. You know, frankly, I don't really care. I don't care whether you read a book or not. At the end of the day, that's up to you. Now, if you want to read your books, and if you want to watch your seminars, and if you want to, you know, approach me and have those conversations, that's great. Because it means that you're doing your due diligence. You're being eclectic, and that is phenomenal. That's something that I wish everyone would strive to do, because I can only imagine what the world would be like if everyone unlocked their full potential. So with that, I really hope that this video helps some of you see some clarity. You know, I hope that some of you guys realize that it's not easy trying to build your success. It's not easy trying to make a name for yourself. It's certainly not easy. You know, you have to be willing to sacrifice. I've had many arguments with family, friends, girlfriend. I've had friendships go on the line. It's not easy trying to become successful, but guess what? It is definitely worth it. As Dave Ramsey, host of the Dave Ramsey Show, as he once said, you know, if you want to live like no one else, you have to live like no one else. He also said, it's not easy, but it's definitely worth it. And I think that both of those quotes are definitely true. All right, so always be growing your mind, always be adding new mentors to your list, always be following like-minded individuals. You may not agree with everything I've said, and that's okay. Again, it doesn't really make a difference to me, but the important thing is that you're following like-minded individuals. You're following people who want the same things that you want. So if you want to be successful, maybe I'm someone that you can connect with, maybe I'm not. But the important thing is that you're always adding people to that list. You're always adding mentors to your list of people whom you can follow. So with that, I hope y'all have a great New Year's. I hope y'all have a great one. Have a good evening. As always, be safe, and I'll be seeing everyone in 2016.